want you to want what I want you to feel. But it's like no matter what I do, I can't convince you to just believe this is real. So let go, watching you turn your back like you always do. Face away and pretend that I'm not, but I'll be here cause you're all that I got. I can't feel the way I did before. Don't turn your back on me. I won't be ignored. Time won't change this damage anymore. Don't turn your back on me. I won't be ignored. I'm a little bit insecure, a little unconfident, cause you don't understand to do what I can, but sometimes I don't make sense. What you never want to say, but I've never had a doubt. It's like no matter what I do, I can't convince you for once just to hear me out. So let go, watching you turn your back like you always do. Face away and pretend that I'm not, but I'll be here cause you're all that I got.
It's showtime.
Hello guys, and welcome back to the Shinhan Tank Pro League STPL. I'm your host Kix and your caster for today, and also the organizer of the tournament. If you sent me around, I've cast a few other things as well, but glad to see you joining me back again for the STPL. This is moving into the second game of our series for today. It's White versus EM, and let's not waste any more time. Let's actually head on over to show who the players are going to be just after I take a quick swig of water. And that is such a small mug, I never realised how small that was. Either way, let's move on over and let's get ready for our second game. Okay, so once again we have another White or Terran from White. This time it's going to be one of the top players from the round of the first round of STPL. He came second, I believe, in the overall rankings. I think Koga beat him by 1 win. Actually, no. No, he tied with Koga for the top spot of round 1. The ranking is right. I need to fix the ranking system because the numbers are all over the place. But this is going to be White's debut game in round 2. As you can see, he went 7 for 1 in round 1, which is kind of insane. One of the best players on White, most certainly. One of their most consistent. His loss, I can't remember who he lost to, but it was a crazy game. And you know what, his opponent here is going to be Defiler. Defiler, one of the newer players for DM, did actually win his first game. That was last week. He won that in this round. I believe he won a ZVZ, but I need to double check all that before I do the cast. But either way, he did a really good job. So looking forward to move. Okay, I just saw some weight on my phone. I'm going to have to make a phone call after this game. But either way, yeah, Defiler did a very good job at round 2 so far. He's not played in he didn't play in round 1. And this is going to be the map. So he's going to have a tough opponent here, actually, in Famas. And I'm kind of excited to see how he's going to do exactly against such a powerhouse. And his arena of choice, as well as Famas's, is going to be on Flight-Dreamliner. Now, if you don't know the origins of this map was, I'm just going to double check, I think it was from the 2010 Korean Air OSL. I'm just going to double check. One thing, if you ever need to find out anything like this, TLPD is great, and yes, it was the 2010 Korean Air on GameNet Star League Season 2. There was only this was the only tournament it appeared in, and it's understandable why. It's based on a plane, and it was of course the Korean Air OSL. It is very similar to Ride of the Valkyries, a quite old school, very popular map. We have mineral only thirds though this time, in the bottom left and top right hand corners, and gas bases on all the other ones. There's 2 islands in the top left and bottom right, with a lot of dead airspace between the main. Very good for muteless play, very good for dropships as well, and it would not surprise me any bit to see a lot of airplay coming out from both of our players here as we move on to our second game of the series. So let's move on over and let's get started. Okay, so in the top right hand 3 o'clock position, we do have the Orange Terran fighting for white, looking to take it 2-0 in this best of 5 series. Is going to be the Korean Terran powerhouse. It's going to be Famas. And his opponent down here in the 6 o'clock position is going to be fighting for DM, one of their newer players, as I said before. It's going to be Defiler, the Teal Zerg. Now, of course, this is a 2-player map. You did have a little bit of an overview, and it's casted from replays, XEXE, but it's mainly because the game day is on Sunday, and if I was to cast all games, I would be casting for about 8 hours, 9 hours, which I don't have time to do, unfortunately. And also it gives more Brood War content throughout the week. And the other reason is it is a global tournament. There's players from all over the world, from Korea to, I believe there's an Australian player. There's also a lot of players in South America, Canada, Europe, Russia. There's players from all over the place, and the one thing that is a problem for any form of global tournament is lag, and especially having a caster in the game as well, that will only make the lag worse. And I want the quality of the games for the players to be the absolute best they can, which is one of the major reasons why I choose to cast from replays. I think it's better for the tournament in general and better for the players. So I understand some people do choose to cast live, and I did used to cast my weekly tournaments live just because weekly tournaments are a little bit different. This is a league format, obviously a team league, best of 5 series. This is week 2, day 2 of the round 2 of STPL. We're 2-2-2 today, and if you want any of the information about round 1 or round 2, there is a results and standings thread on Team Liquid, as well as the round 2 thread with all the up-to-date information on the team rosters, the games, the upcoming schedule, and any results as well. So thank you very much for the cheer. I do have a minimum cheer to stop the text-to-speech going crazy, but I do appreciate it. Yeah, looks like Defiler is going to move his Overlord over. He will see the fact there is going to be a 1-Rax FE coming up from Famas. Now, Famas did go for a very early bunker. He actually bunkered before his command center. Now, this is a very open natural, which is one of the reasons why it can be a good thing to do that. And also, he did scout the very early pool, and he does see the Lings on his way. He just wants to make sure he doesn't die to anything silly. One of the easiest things to really really know about if you're a good player is the fact that if you feel you're against a player who's worse than you, you're more than likely going to think you're going to get cheesed. And I mean, that's exactly what he thought. He built the bunker just to be safe. It does delay his command center, but he is going to be able to go into his second Rax fairly early. He's going to get his refinery as well. So it looks like we're going to have 2 Rax Academy here rather than +1/5 Rax. A very strong build on this map. This map is, of course, from 2010. So it's not as old as Return of the King, but still a very, very good map. And one of my favourite 2-player maps, just because it plays quite differently to everything else. Now, I've played this map a lot, and I've played this map on TVZ a lot, and it's a lot of fun to play if you can survive to the mid-game and late game. And if there's one thing that Famas is going to be able to do, it's to survive past the early game. My big issue was I was playing nothing but games with Cadenzi. I played probably about 50 games versus her on this map, and by the end I was starting to survive the early game, but it took me a very, very long time because 2-hatch Mutalisks, very, very strong on this, especially if they're going to micro and you're not going to buy a micro. So that was my big problem. But Defiler shouldn't have that issue, and neither should Famas. Famas' bio control, very, very good. Defiler's muta control, pretty good as well, as we saw from that ZVZ from him. And Famas back at home, he is adding that academy, so 2 racks academy from him. Gonna see 2 medics starting immediately, and there we go. Very important to get those as soon as possible, just to really start building up that medic energy, start to build up the position. And you know what, Chess, I actually did probably go like 2 in 50. But yeah, losing against players better than you isn't a problem. Like, I felt I improved way more playing against Gedenti, and it looks like Famas actually misplaced his command center slightly, so he's going to have to move that up. That's going to delay his mining at his natural just a little bit, and every little counts in a game of Brood War. Now we do have Stim Pack on the way. Looks like we actually have the Marines and Medics pushing out, trying to force a few extra sunken colonies here from Defiler, who so far has completely neglected to get any. So adding 2 creep colonies now going to be important. Now are we going to have a Spire? Yes, we are. Now, it could be a little bit indicative of what he was planning to do by skipping those sunken colonies. If you skip those early on, you often see a lot of lings, and as you can see on your screen here, this is exactly what he's gone for. But one of the TVC we saw on this yesterday even, the Zerg went for a lot of lings, but they didn't do much on the counter-attack, and they're not going to do anything again. 2 Firebats back here for Famas in defense, and that's going to be perfect. Now, there are 2 sunken colonies. There's only 2 medics, so that's not going to be enough to really push into here and do too much damage. But Defiler is certainly going to be looking to try and get a counter-attack in when he can. Now we should actually have the Muteless building right now. Looks like he didn't quite have the money saved up for all of them. He did overbuild a couple of lings, and of course he did have to add these sunken, so that's why he didn't have enough money and why these last 2 Muteless are a little bit late. And that's certainly going to be good for Famas, as it is going to give him more chance to get his turrets up. He's building them at the right time, getting them ready for that 6 minutes. I'd say 6 minutes 40, I think, is when they're supposed to get to your base with 3 hatcheries, but I'm probably wrong on that. I'm a little bit rusty on timings because I've not been playing as much recently. Looking to get back into it, certainly a hell of a lot more with the new patch that should be possibly coming out tomorrow. Blizzard actually released a big patch note about it, and it turns out with their new MMR brackets and their letters, I'm actually going to be B rank. I never got past C-, so that feels pretty good. But there we go, the Muteless are going to fly in, going to find they're not going to be able to do too much damage, and actually losing one of his all-important Muteless here. That's going to be very, very nice for Famas. It's going to be kind of hard for Defiler to take a 3rd base here. As you can see, there's no real base that's easy to defend with just lurkers, so you have to be very, very active on the map with the Muteless, picking off as much Mimic Marine as possible. And is he going to be able to get in here yet? He delays the starport. That's going to be a nice pickoff. He's going to be able to pick off some of these Marines, possibly even a couple of medics. Really, really nice control by Defiler so far, but he needs to be careful. He can't afford to get his Muteless trapped here, and he is going to be sitting over turrets for a long time. And that could be another dead Muteless very, very close. That Muteless there surviving with very little health. But what is Defiler's transition going to be? Where is he going to attempt to take that 3rd base? Famas with the absolute perfect scan. Going to see there's no army out the front, and also going to see this drone. Now, is Defiler going to try and hide a base below here and just take the gas, or is he going to try and take the actual base? Obviously the base would be better. You do need the minerals as well. But one thing to note, I didn't point this out before because it's so hard to take this base, is there's a double gas base in the middle of the map. Now that is incredibly difficult for any race to hold on to, just based on the fact there is this high ground above it, and there's so much open space around the edge. It's kind of like looking at a StarCraft 2 base, in a way. Like a StarCraft 2 4th base, or something like that. But there we go, Defiler moving back in, trying to pick off any Marines, anything he can do, but he's got a lot of nearly dead Muteless here. He needs to keep them alive. He lost a lot of lings in that engagement with the Medic Marine as well. And with +1 attack done on these Marines, +1 armor should be on its way as well. They're skipping straight into +2 attack. Going to be adding on a 2nd Enduring Bay here. And he's already got his science facility for Irradiate, so that should be coming up soon as well. And it looks like Defiler Still not gonna take a third gas. He's actually adding on his third hatchery. He does have 4 lurkers here. This is going to be enough to defend at least this ramp and this entrance as well. But he does need to be careful. Defiler still with very, very few upgrades. No upgrades on his melee. Possibly +1 on his range, but to be honest, I've not actually seen an evolution chamber. No, I hadn't. So there's only an evolution chamber going here. So Famas is certainly going to be ahead in the upgrades. He's ahead in army supply as well. And Defiler showing his trump card a little bit too early. Going for like stop lurkers on this map while there is a lot of space is a very, very strong play. There's a lot of places where Medic Marine will actually bunch up. And if you do practice the map, you can actually learn where they're going to be. But, I mean, he does, of course, have Irradiate and Science Vessels now, so they're not as strong anymore. Forcing a big stim of all of Famas' units there is Defiler, so really, really good move by him. Of course, Famas unable to really go for a third base yet. Rainy is finally done. Looks like he's going to skip out on Vessel Energy, and he's going to go straight into a Physics Lab. Famas is going to go for BCs, and that really, really excites me. I love watching BCs in Brood War. They're so good. They look so brilliant in the remaster as well. And it feels good to watch them kill Zerg units. I know that's Terran bias shining through completely. But still, you gotta love battle cruisers. I think everybody loves battle cruisers, right? It's not just me. But BC is a very, very strong option on this map. A very strong option against Zerg, actually. It does mean you can go for Yamato Cannon. You can send the BCs over here, take this island third base as well if you want to. I've seen that happen as well. And BCs are very, very strong. 2 BCs can one-shot a Scourge. So I think it's... If you have +2 attack on the BC, I think you can actually one-shot Scourge as well. So it's really actually hard to kill them. You need a lot of Scourge to kill BCs as well. And it's a lot of gas to waste. The best decision to go against them is like Devour and Plague. But that is something that we're not going to be able to see outside of Defiler just yet. But here we go. Looks like we're going to have a little bit of an engagement in the middle of the map. Is it going to be enough? Looks like there's a lot of Blings just filtering in to their death. Scourge going in for the vessels, not quite managing to get it. And are we going to see a battle cruiser? It's going to be a dropship first. Do we have any upgrades on this Physics Lab? Not just yet. So maybe Famas, I think, is planning on getting an extra base first. Wants to make sure he doesn't throw the game. He's in a strong position. He's got a lot of bio. There are 2-1 upgrades now, or at least they should be very, very shortly. Should be heading up to 3-1 and 3-2 shortly after that. Now, when are we going to see this battle cruiser? You've got to build a battle cruiser now. You built the Physics Lab. He's going to go for a big drop in the main, and this is going to do an insane, insane amount of damage, but I really want to see a battle cruiser. Famas, come on, you can't do this. You can't build a Physics Lab and not actually get the... Oh, this could be a big, big Scourge hit. Yes, it is. Great Scourge hit, taking down a lot of bio. And the Defiler Mound hasn't yet finished Consume. And it looks like it's going to be down immediately, so Defilers are not going to be a strong option here. The Mulus coming in from behind, not going to be able to do too much damage. And Famas' units moving in from the front as well. Still no BC, but it doesn't look like he's going to need it. Defiler's army has been completely decimated on 2 fronts. The Spire nearly going down as well. And all that stops Famas is 3 Sunkens. That's not going to be enough. GG! And before he can build a battle cruiser, Famas leaves the game. Even if he stayed in the game for 5 more minutes and just built a battle cruiser, I would have sat